In the spring of 1902, more than 140,000 coal miners across eastern Pennsylvania laid down their tools. They were fed up with low wages, long hours, and the dangerous, dirty conditions of the coal mines. These workers were mostly immigrants, Poles, Lithuanians, Italians, struggling to survive in a system that gave them little hope. Led by the determined John Mitchell of the United Mine Workers of America, the miners stood united. Their demands were simple: a 20% wage increase, but to the wealthy mine owners and powerful railroad barons, these demands were unacceptable. The strike brought coal production to a halt. As summer turned to fall, the nation began to worry. Coal was not just a resource, it was the lifeblood of America. It heated homes, powered factories, and fueled the economy. Without it, the country began to freeze, literally and politically. President Theodore Roosevelt, only a year into his presidency, saw the crisis growing. He feared that if the strike continued into winter, people would suffer. But more than that, he believed the government had a responsibility to step in, not on behalf of business, but for the American people. Roosevelt did what no president had done before. He invited both the coal operators and the union leaders to the White House. The owners refused to negotiate at first, believing the government should protect business, not labor. But Roosevelt stood firm, threatening to use federal troops, not to break the strike, but to run the mines. Finally, both sides agreed to arbitration, a neutral process to settle the dispute. After weeks of negotiations, a decision was reached. The miners received a 10% wage increase, and their workday was reduced from 10 to 9 hours. While the union was not officially recognized, the workers' strength was undeniable. The coal strike of 1902 was a turning point. It showed that workers could challenge the powerful and win public support. It also proved that the government could act as a neutral force in labor conflicts, not always siding with the wealthy, but listening to the voices of the working class. For President Roosevelt, it marked the rise of the progressive era, a time of reform, fairness, and the belief that government could be a force for good. For the miners, it was a victory carved out of hardship, unity, and the belief that even the poorest had a right to be heard.